Continuing on our rant about your long form content to short form content, in this video we're reviewing another software called Klap. Klap actually reached out to me a few months ago in request to do a review of their software and check out their affiliate program and see what it's all about. So of course I had to do my due diligence and we are testing out the platform itself. So in this video I'm going to show you the ins and outs of Klap, how it works, my personal opinion on it, and just some general ideas for those of you who are considering using the software. Without further ado, let's go ahead and dive on in. All right, y'all, so this is Klap. Klap is similar to things like Vidio, VBO, and Taja AI. Essentially, it takes your long form content and it turns it into short form content so that you can repurpose it for things like Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, LinkedIn content, etc. Now, this definitely is a newer platform. Lots of fun stuff on here. I think the creators are doing a really good job. I will say I like the interface a lot better. I do think it's a lot cleaner and sleeker, which is just easier on the eyes, in my opinion, if you're somebody who stares at computers all day. But let's go ahead and get into it. They use something slightly different, and this is kind of what caught my eye about Klap versus some of the other platforms that we've tried, is they have this ability to use AI that kind of like reframes and repositions the content. So I'm going to show you what I'm talking about in just a second here, but it's different than what I've actually seen on any of the other platforms that I've tried so far. So this is kind of cool. Now I'm going to go ahead and log on in here. We went ahead and did a test on the platform, and it's pretty straightforward with how you actually upload content. You basically just drop your YouTube video link in here. All right, so let's say I wanted to take one of these videos here. This one is slightly different because it's more of like me as a talking head versus a lot of the content similar to this one are where I am sharing my screen and going over it. So I'm going to show you both. Now, one I already have on here is more of like this style screen recording, whatnot. I'm going to go ahead and put the video on here. It's going to basically ask me how I want to use it. And then I can come in here and choose one of the default settings. So I tend to go for something more simple, auto adjust. So it's going to go ahead and generate those shorts, works through it, does it pretty well. I'm just going to hit on here, notify me when it's done, and it's going to send me an update when it's ready. Now let's go back to the completed version, and I'm going to show you the really cool part that I do like about Klap that I was actually really impressed with. And when you click on it, here's where it gets really fun. This is going to look similar to something like Taja AI, but the difference is how the videos are repositioned. So check this out. This is a screen recording. And when I'm recording videos like we are right now, it usually will only record a portion of the screen, whatever it can fit into that horizontal image. But what Klap does differently, and what I thought was really cool, is it actually allows us to basically put the screen recording and the video stacked versus when I typically record content, like you'll see with a lot of the shorts, it's more of like a zoomed in version of the vertical video. And so this is really cool. Now, obviously, I'm going to work on like some of the title and text and whatnot, but
the first thing to understand about YouTube analytics is why it actually.
This, like what you're seeing here, is typically how things like Taja AI would record the video or edit the short, is it just pulls from it. And what I liked about this, especially for somebody who does like a lot of podcast recording, or you're doing a lot of like talking head with multiple people or different angles or different screens, it saves a lot of time because you can dual have like the two different images, both the actual talking head and the actual screen recording or the multiple people talking. And it does this all with AI, which I thought is pretty darn impressive. Now, of course, just like Taja and some of the other tools that we've reviewed, you do get the virality score, transcripts, any other details for it, and then you can go direct to publish. Now, this is the one thing I was a little bummed about. Had asked the founders about, hey, when will the YouTube Shorts piece be done and ready? And unfortunately, it's not going to be out just yet, and they're not quite sure. So right now it's coming soon. Basically means there's not a way to directly schedule this short from Klap to YouTube Shorts. I can do it from Instagram, TikTok, and LinkedIn, which is great. We do some content posting on Instagram, not a ton. But for me, this was like the one part that I was really sad about, because now I have to actually download the video and then upload it to YouTube Shorts. Again, it's not a huge hassle, but it's added steps that kind of bring a little bit of a delay or friction, if you will, or resistance to the process that I personally don't like to have to deal with. So that's the one downside I would say about Klap so far. Now, when you do go to post, what I will say is if I'm going to come in and like I were to connect my Instagram account, I can just schedule it on the calendar and you'll be able to see like the content calendar here of whatever content you're going to be posting. So I can come in and say, okay, I want to post this piece of content and then select what platform it's going to go on. So the scheduler itself is pretty intuitive. The layout for it and how it works is pretty straightforward. There's not a whole lot on here. It's definitely like a pretty minimal platform, which really only has one intent or purpose, and that is really literally to just take your content and make it into short form. Now, again, in comparison to something like Taja AI or some of the other tools that we've reviewed, it definitely is taking the win when it comes to how it's editing the videos. As you can see here, multiple examples where it's taking what I'm recording and then it's putting it on that screen. I haven't seen that done a whole lot yet, and maybe that's just because the other platforms haven't caught up to it, or I don't know, they have something different in how they do it. That's, I think, the one big win, especially if you are a content creator who is creating content with multiple talking heads, or you're like me and you do a lot of screen recording. So that is a full walkthrough of the back end. It's actually pretty short, straightforward. Okay, so the next big question becomes, what does the pricing look like and how does that compare to some of the other platforms or softwares that we have seen? Klap has few options. You can get started for $29 per month on their basic plan here, and that gives you, as you can see, just up to 10 videos per month that you can do. I think for most content creators, honestly, that's probably more than enough, and it's something that's super cost effective. So it's not going to cost you a ton of money to get started. If you are somebody who is creating a ton of content and you're wanting to create a lot more, then you might want to bump up to that $79 per month plan. It's an option for sure. But again, I think most content creators, especially for those of you who are watching these videos, you'd be just fine if you're looking for something that can help automate that process for $29 per month. It's probably less than what you'd have to pay for like team members, or even the amount of time that if you were to time yourself, you'd be spending on doing it. The last thing on here is they do have a yearly option. So if you were to pay in full for the year, then it obviously cuts your rates down slightly. But again, for most folks, I would say monthly is probably going to be the way that you're going to go. All right, y'all, that is it for our Klap review. If you found this interesting, you want to check it out, be sure to check out the affiliate link in the description down below this video. If you have questions, as always, feel free to comment down below. And if you'd like other software reviews that you'd like to see on our channel, as always, feel free to comment, request them, or you can always shoot us an email at info@sassandseo.com. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, as always, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, and I will see you in future content.